It's Bob and Tom Tonight, starring Chick McGee, Christy Lee, Josh Arnold, Ace Cosby, Pat Godwin, Willie Griswold, and Tom Griswold.
I'm Chick McGee, and here's Tom Griswold.
Thank you very much. And wait a minute, I'll look at the big screen. There's Bill Burr. Look at that handsome man up there. Hey, Bill.
What's going on? Long time no see.
Bill, good to see you.
I think the last time we spoke, you were just becoming a dad, and the time before that, you were just becoming a dog owner, but now you're a multiple dad, and just came off a show at Fenway Park. Catch us up.
Well, now I'm also vegan, and I'm really into Christ.
Oh, okay.
All right.
A lot of changes.
No, I got 2 kids. The dog passed away.
Oh, no.
He also had to give her away so she wouldn't eat any of the kids. So, yeah, she was nuts. So, we ended up giving her to our trainer, who even who's like a dog whisperer guy, was just like, yeah, this is one of these dogs nature said no to, but people said yes to.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, she was one of those dogs, like once she fell in love with me and my wife, once we rescued her, she looked at everybody else like they were serial killers. And I don't care what your vibe was. If you came through the door, she tried to kill you. And I spent a lot of money trying to get rid of that instinct, and it just never happened. So, but she lived an amazing life. She still lived like 13 years. As a pit bull that tries to kill people, usually they put those things down pretty quick. So she was she had quite the life.
Yeah. Are you lying down right now?
Yeah, because there's like overhead lighting, and I have this Frankenstein brow. So if I don't do that, then like my eyes would be all shadowed. You'd think that my wife was beating me.
Okay. Our guest is Bill Burr. Bill is on a massive tour, many stops along the way where we're on the radio right now, including Louisville, let's see, Cincinnati. I know you're going to be in Bloomington, Des Moines, Madison, all coming up. But could we talk briefly about your appearance at Fenway Park?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you want to know?
Well, it had to be amazing for a guy from Boston to be at Fenway, not with a bat in his hand, but a microphone.
Yeah, it was insane. And it was like literally the perfect night for like a baseball game, like that perfect little breeze, nice balmy air. And everyone showed up for comedy. So it was like doing this giant comedy. It was like doing a comedy club on mushrooms where they were reacting the same way. But it's like, why is the back wall so far away? It was nuts. I still can't believe it happened. And fortunately, my agent wanted to make sure I didn't get a big head. So the very next day, I started a 6-day tour, so I don't think I really even got to take it in.
Now, when they give you the light at Fenway, is it just a whole rack? Do they pop the big lights on and get off stage, Bill?
Like in The Natural. Yeah.
Yeah, no, somebody in the dugout picks up the phone and says, get this comic off the stage.
That's good.
We need somebody funnier.
Bring in the closer.
Our guest is Bill Burr, a distinguished actor, comedian, podcaster, and helicopter pilot.
Is that true? We keep hearing about you coptering around L.A. Is that absolutely...
It's the only way to get around L.A.
It's got to be.
You don't want to sit in all that traffic. You just go up and over all of them.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Yeah, I guess.
But I'll be honest with you, usually with the whole pre-flight and everything, it's kind of ends up taking the same amount of time. Mm-hmm. But it's so much more fun. I actually, I'm working on a movie that me and a buddy of mine wrote, and we just finished editing. And I told him on the last day, I go, Uber to work, I'll fly you home. And we were editing in the Valley. And I already pre-flighted the thing. So we just went out, got in it, took off, and I flew him over to Santa Monica. And something that usually takes like an hour and 10 minutes at like 5 o'clock. It took us about 8 minutes.
Now, Chick, what is the description a pilot friend of yours told you about the difficulty of flying a copter?
Oh, yeah, I went to high school with a guy who turned out to be a chopper pilot in Vietnam, not during the awful, horrible years. Well, when were there a good year in Vietnam, now that I think about it. But he was over there flying missions, and he said it reminded him of trying to balance a ball on top of a ball when learning to fly a helicopter.
Initially, it's like that, but then after a while, it's not. Listen, I'm a moron. I went to summer school every year of high school. If I can learn how to, I was worried about ground school. I wasn't worried about learning how to fly, but just knowing all the stuff that you need to know so you don't do something stupid. I was worried about that, but it was something that I was into, so it was fun to learn and it was fascinating and all that. It's not that bad.
Do you share a copter with a bunch of people, or do you rent them? How does that work? I
bought a little 2-seater.
All right.
I got a little egg beater that I fly around it.
Oh, yeah.
So, in case whenever the apocalypse comes, when we run out of water out here and people start eating each other, I'm just going to make 3 trips. No, maybe 2. I think I could get my kids. They could probably share a seat. I got to upgrade. At some point, I got to move up to like an A-star, and then I'm totally, put some guns on the side of it, and I think I'd be ready.
I want to just briefly go back to the Fenway Park thing. First of all, congratulations on that. What a culmination of a great career to go back home and be at the baseball stadium. I've always had
I played catch with my kids in left field. Before that, we went into the Green Monster. It was insane.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm one of the few people that kind of dislikes the Sweet Caroline thing.
I hate it.
Oh, good.
That's one of the worst songs ever. I feel it makes you dumber when you listen to it. Anytime you go bum bum bum, you lose like 6 months of knowledge.
Yeah, you and I are on the same page on that. I'm the only one that drives me nuts. Our guest is comedian Bill Burr. Also, I know that you are an amateur drummer. How's that going?
Yeah, I'm a dad drummer. That's what I like to call myself. I'm a dad who drums in the garage whenever he can get like 10 minutes. I'll go out there and I'll play like Guns N' Roses or Zeppelin, all that metal stuff.
Now, do your kids have any desire to sit down at the drum kit and drive you nuts?
Yeah, the kids love drums. My son, he's learning, just putting the words together. So they just go, da-da. He goes, do-do-dat. Do that. I'm like, okay, you want to go play drums? It's exciting that he's already singing rhythms. So I mean, that's a good sign.
Right? Yeah. He sounds like Gene Krupa already.
Now, somewhat like me, you are an older dad, and it's my understanding you're pursuing the notion of being an old dad. Is this is your new film?
Yeah, I got a new film that we're making. It's called Old Dads. And it was obviously based off my experience of, being an old dad, where it's just like the generation gap I have with people that have kids my age is like insane. Like my kid's in kindergarten now. I went to kindergarten 50 years ago. So like anything I say, people are like, what? I'm like, oh, they're over there on the jungle gym. They're like, it's called The Structure. All right. And then there's all like these, these schools, some of these schools we went to before we found a good school to send my kid to, because private schools out here are nuts, right? They got like metal detectors and stuff. It's like San Quentin. It's bad. It's really bad. It's one of those things where I don't understand why the public doesn't complain about it, but nobody does. So now you got to like pay like college tuition for 12 years before your kid even goes to college. But anyway, Anyway, I don't know. I'm old. I just literally forgot my train of thought. What the hell was I talking about?
I was asking, I'm an old dad like you. You have a little bit of gray in your beard. Do you ever get the thing where you're out somewhere and they think you're the grandpa? I
got into it. This guy at one of these bouncy house places, his kid was like 3 years old and already weighed like 90 pounds, which is like child abuse. It's like, stop feeding that kid. So the kid just was coming up to my kid looking like a cyclops or something. So my kid freaked out, started crying. And the big fat kid just started smashing this toy over my son's head. And it was one of these things where there was no way for me to get in it. It was like a maze. So I just started yelling, going, hey, stop it or whatever. So this other dad got mad at me, for yelling at his kid. And he looks through the structure. He's like, we good, bro? We good? right? So I just stuck my face right up against the screen. I go, what? Because we live in a world where I can't be like, well, why don't you get your fat, what, of a kid to stop hitting my kid? So he goes all the way into where I am, right? Doesn't look at me, and he starts bumping into me.
No.
Right? And I go, bike buddy, is there not enough room in here for you? And he turns around, looks at me, and he goes, what are you, like $180? He goes, he's like sizing me up. He goes, I weighed $180 in high school. And I'm like, yeah, and then you ate a bunch of burgers and fries. Don't act like you went to the gym. So I don't know long story short, it was all this machismo stuff that he was doing. And when he went to leave, my beard was a little longer. And he goes, all right, see you later there, Grandpa. And I go, all right, buddy, keep eating that cake.
Bill Burr is our guest.
It was really childish. Really childish, and I'm proud of it.
Nice.
We were talking about the fact that you're one of the few people that has, for a last name, the name of a haircut. And I'm
That's
not
what
sure.
we talk about, Bill. Yeah.
But then it turns out this is a regional thing. Not everybody was on board with me when I said a Burr haircut is like a short haircut, sometimes called a crew cut. Or a butch.
Hey, I got a good one on my name, right? My daughter, she's 5, said to me the other day, she goes, Dad, I know what your real name is. And I go, what? She goes, Bill. And I go, how do you know that? She goes, because Mommy calls you that. And I go, all right. I go, what my real full name is? And she goes, what? I go, my real full name is William Frederick Burr. And she goes, that's ridiculous.
Bill Burr.
And I go, why is that ridiculous? She goes, that's a ridiculous name. I laughed for like 10 minutes.
And Bill, it's also my understanding that you have given up the grape, as they say, no longer drinking. And are you actually a vegan, or were you joking about that?
No, I was joking about that.
But you've given up a bunch of things in your life.
Yeah, my free time, alcohol. I stopped. I was watching. Speaking of whirlybirds, like old TV shows, I was like every night I had on Me TV, and I was downstairs, getting hammered. I was just somehow I think I'm not like an AA guy, but I definitely think when it comes to addiction, there's like a spectrum. Like when we were growing up, it was like either you were or you weren't. And I don't think there is. Like I'm a habit guy where if I start drinking, and I do it too many nights in a row, I just start doing it and I kind of can't stop until I really just white knuckle it for 4 days. But then after 4 days, I could never do it again, and it's not a big deal. But there's 4 days where I'm like, wow, man, I really got an issue here. So, it just kept, I'd be downstairs watching TV, and I was just thinking, what if somebody came into the house, or what if my daughter all of a sudden needed to go to the hospital? I'm too hammered to do anything. So the guilt of that, I was just like, all right, I'm going to stop for a little bit. And a little bit's turned into almost 4 years so far.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Glad it's working out, especially if you're flying the helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Oh, no, you want a nice buzz when that happens. you forget that you're basically sitting underneath a guillotine.
On that note, the great Bill Burr. Bill, congratulations on all your success. I hope to see you in the studio again sometime. We remember you back from the club days, and funnier than ever. Lots of great venues coming up.
Red Rock special on Netflix. That was wonderful.
Yeah, wonderful.
Wonderful special.
Oh, thank you. Well,
Yes.
you guys, I love you guys. Thank you for all the years. I never would have gotten here if I didn't get on your show. You guys are a huge, huge part of me selling tickets on the road. So thank you so much.
Thank you. That's very
Love you,
kind.
Bill.
See you, Bill. The great Bill
Okay,
Burr.
we'll see you.
Germany's Oktoberfest has returned following a 2-year hiatus.
Yeah.
Munich Mayor Dieter Reiter opened the festivities.
I am Dieter.
Dieter Reiter, he inserted a tap into the first keg with 3 knocks of a hammer and the traditional cry of, and I don't speak German, "O Saftis," or "It's tapped."
That means let's get drunk.
Yeah.
Dude, you do that. I am so scared to do that. I am terrified of the fake dropout. Good for you.
Bavarian Governor Markus Söder said, quote, "I'm glad that we can finally celebrate together. We have 2 or 3 difficult years behind us. No one knows exactly what this winter will be like, and we need joie de vivre and strength."
Joie de verve?
Joie de vivre? Yeah.
Joie de
whatever.
vivre.
Is it vive?
Yeah.
That's what the French call.
Why do they have?
I don't know why.
We're in Germany. Why are we speaking French?
The same way we speak occasional phrases in French here, I think.
This
You
year's
like,
Oktoberfest.
You like Bavarian cream pies?
I do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Finishing inside a German woman?
That's crazy. That's a crazy way to take that one.
That's the Bavarian. Did you just invent the Bavarian cream pie?
No, cream pie is a real genre.
Very Googleable.
So wait a second. This mayor's name of Munich mayor, Dieter Reeder?
Dieter Reeder. Yes.
I thought it was Dieter Ryder.
Maybe it looks like it's pronounced Dieter Reeder.
Oh, okay. Dieter Reeder's funnier.
Yeah.
What about Orida? No?
All right.
It runs through October 3rd if you're heading to Munich.
The Lederhosen guys are glad it's back.
Yeah, they sure are.
Those have been sitting in the closet for a few years.
You still have yours laying around?
I don't know where those are. That's a good question.
Where's Godwin when you need him? Because have you heard about that gang running around in those German pants?
No.
The Lederhosen pack.
Wow.
So that has to be done.
Okay.
That is so dumb.
That's perfect. It's Costaki Economopoulos joining us from California with his plant.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a real plant or plastic?
That's a real plant.
He's got real plant money. Have you named it?
I take care of stuff. I haven't named it yet. I should give it a weird Greek name.
Costaki Economopoulos heads up a special joke factory, if you will, online. And do you want to explain that? Oh, it's all pro line. You got an all pro lines T-shirt, Costaki. Stand
That's
up
right.
again. Let me see that thing.
Yeah, we got gear. You can get shirts and hats.
Oh,
and
mine must have got
whatever else.
lost in the mail.
Oh, okay. We'll get you some.
Why not
Get you some
support
all
your
pro
friend?
line stuff.
All pro
buy
lines,
yours.
and
I'll buy a
you can submit your jokes to. Is there one of those fill in the blank things this week, Costaki, where you have this?
Yeah. Let's see. We did one with Julio Jones. Julio Jones is out again. This guy gets hurt more than the cast of Jackass. So this guy gets hurt more than blank, and the peanut gallery goes nuts. Julio Jones is out again. This guy gets hurt more than Super Dave Osborne. See, that's fun. This guy gets hurt more than Mr. Bill. This guy gets
Mr. Bill.
Oh, no.
This guy gets hurt more than a millennial's feelings. See?
Those are all good.
That joke was not funny at all. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Miami put up 42 points to beat the Ravens. Last time Miami scored this much, it was the 80s, and it was cocaine. Miami hasn't been this hot since Crockett and Tubbs. You see,
Miami Vice, ladies and gentlemen.
that score was so high. Ricky Williams asked where he could get some. That's a high score.
Man smokes.
Enjoys it. Yes, that good
reefer.
Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore ejected for fighting. It seems weird to fight a guy in a sport where you can legally throw him to the ground if you just wait 30 seconds.
Hey, Costaki.
Evans said
Costaki, a chick was telling me what allegedly Tom Brady started the fight. Have you heard about this?
Yes. He was clearly, right.
Screaming
What did he
and yelling
say?
and cursing. F-U-B to Lattimore.
F-U-B. Fill in all the 3 words. Not FUB,
F-U-B.
obviously.
Oh, okay.
The FU, that should be fairly simple for you. Technically, I guess it would be FY if you were doing. And then the B is, of course, the B word.
Oh, really?
I'm
That's
sure
what he
you've
said?
recently had a conversation where you said FU or she said FU and then you said B.
I can't say the B word.
Pardon me?
I mean, not out loud, but sure, yeah.
We're trying to be delicate
Evans
here.
said he
Christy.
rushed to the field. That's what Evans said after the game. He said he rushed to the field to protect Tom Brady. Protect Tom Brady. Isn't that the ref's job? What are you doing?
There you go.
There you go.
Tom Brady, by the way, is going to take Wednesdays off for the rest of the season.
that.
It's going to help him prepare for the divorce because that's the night he'll have the kids.
That's right.
Every Wednesday, every other
other
weekend, and
weekend.
every Wednesday.
Oh, we got to eat Subway again.
The Bucks give Tom Brady Wednesdays off, and the Colts give their players Sundays off.
Oh, you know what? Relax. I was nice when you had Matt Ryan for years, Costaki. So take it easy on me.
Matt Ryan. Oh my goodness. He played so badly you'd think he was still a Falcon. What's happening? The Colts laid a goose egg, or as it should be known, a falcon egg. Losing 24-0 to the Jaguars. That's not adding insult to injury. That's adding ridicule to humiliation to embarrassment to insult
we get
to injury. All right. The Colts scored the same number of points as me, and I was drunk in a red shirt in a different city. That's a good thing about wearing a red shirt. The other fans know not to hit you. That's nice. Plus, when people ask if you're a Falcons fan, you can just lie and say you work at Target. So that's better. To celebrate, Willie, this game, I decided to dust off an old classic. The Colts went 2 of 10 on third down conversions. Mike Pence converted more gays. Am I right, everybody?
Come on, people. A little Indiana connection for you.
Wow.
Yeah, that was ugly.
That was ugly.
That's a classic, huh? Okay.
That's a classic, yeah. Kyler Murray's 2-point conversion lasted so long it seemed like he was thinking about baseball. It lasted so long. Tom Brady retired and then unretired during the run. So it was a long run.
Long period of time, you see.
Yeah.
Ordinarily.
All right, we can maybe close on this one. The NFL's now on Amazon, which means the Falcons game will now come in 12 different boxes.
Watch the entire show live or on demand at bobandtom.com or listen live with the Bob and Tom app. And be sure to tune in next time for more Bob and Tom Tonight.